your convention so far?
It's been a little while. I was on one set yesterday, and then we shot through the night on another set, and then I came here.
You made it on the floor yet?
Yes, I've been on the floor as they've said, okay, go here, then go here, then turn here, and then land here. So that's what we did.
So since you're so crazy and not thinking straight, you can tell all the secrets
that you're not supposed to tell us. That's about. Surely going to happen. You don't understand. I have a shock collar on underneath this that works really well.
All right, so Ghost Rider, pretty ambitious to delve right into an iconic character for this season after coming off the Inhumans arc last season. What made you guys go forward with this?
Well, from the very beginning in the pilot, we stated that what S.H.I.E.L.D. does is it goes after the weird, it goes after the unusual, it goes after the dangerous, and it determines the best course of action for the safety of everybody around. And we started looking through the Marvel Encyclopedia, and we went, weird, unusual, dangerous, Ghost Rider, yes. And it helped that it took us in a new direction, some of the supernatural and moving up to 10 o'clock. If we were going to do Ghost Rider right, there was going to be a certain level of what's the best way to do it? Action, let's put it that way. That we might not have done at 9 o'clock. ABC was incredibly supportive about it. And then I have to give credit where credit's due. It, Jed Whedon and Marissa Tancherone and Jeff Bell, who are our showrunners and co-creators, and the writing staff did an extraordinary job of making the worlds fit seamlessly together. Gabriel Luna was, again, one of those finds that Marvel does that we're just incredibly happy that he's part of the family now. People seem to really like what he does. It's not just about being a giant flaming head. There's actually a very moving portrait of a character of Robbie Reyes and his relationship with his brother. And so, you put all those things together and they make S.H.I.E.L.D. So that's the part that was super cool for us. And then a big shout out to Mark Kolpak, who's our VFX guy, who I think is doing movie quality work on a television budget, which is extraordinary to be able to do.
I know a lot of people talk about, S.H.I.E.L.D. moved to 10 p.m., it's a lot darker now, which, it obviously is, but was it always your intention that once you hit a certain storyline or number of seasons to start going darker than the stories that you were telling?
No, I mean, I certainly, it's funny because we've been on at 8, we've been on at 9, and now we're on at 10. I said eventually we'll either be on at 7 or 11. I think they're just going to try us at all different times. I think what it really speaks to is the strength of the storytelling seems to be working, and that the audience is staying with us, that they didn't abandon us at 10 o'clock, which we were concerned about. They haven't had the best luck in that time slot, but apparently this move has worked out really well. If those dang vice presidents hadn't decided to have a debate last week, we'd be on again. So we're trying to be on as much as we can. It's one of the challenges of doing a serialized show is you have a super cool cliffhanger, and then vice presidents talk to each other. So good for them.
What was the process like on designing Ghost Rider?
Joe Quesada, who's our chief creative officer, has a big hand in designing things. We have somebody who works specifically within the television division, a young man by the name of Josh Shaw, and he does a series of drawings, and then it passes between Marvel New York and Marvel Television, and then eventually gets to the showrunners, and then it goes to that's a nice drawing. Now how do we actually make this thing? And that's where Mark Kolpak and Chris Cheramy, who is in charge of post for us, make it work. And all I can tell you is it's not inexpensive. But we seem to have managed to keep the show at the level that we always stayed at. We've always been a big FX show, not at the expense of character or drama or humor. But adding a flaming head has certainly been a challenge.
Yeah.
But folks seem to like it, and they certainly had something to compare it to.
Yeah.
And so I think we hit that same sort of lucky button that we hit when we told people we were going to make a Daredevil television show, and they compared it to something else as well. So that's kind of the thing I take a lot of pride in. Everybody in Marvel Television has been able to take these characters that up to a certain point hadn't really been connecting with the audience. I'm sure they've connected with some of the audience, but not in the way that we seem to be hitting it now. And so, whether it's S.H.I.E.L.D. and Ghost Rider, or it's Daredevil, or it's Punisher, it's one of the things that we really enjoyed.
I'm curious, is this a character, Ghost Rider, that's going to be in it for the long haul, or is this kind of just a this season kind of arc? Or
that would fall under the category of wait and see. I can't tell you that.
What about the Inhumans? We had a huge season last season with the Inhumans, and you might have thought bringing Ghost Rider would have put them to the back burner, but as we saw with the new director, that they're still around.
The Inhumans are an important part of what's going on, and really gives us a nice, easy jump-on place for the audience to understand what it is that S.H.I.E.L.D. does. Because there's now the Sokovia Accords, it's a very simple idea, which is they go, they find them, they register them. If they don't want to be registered, they get taken in. So it's by using the Inhumans, and because the magic of, and I use magic in it not in a bibbidi-bobbidi-boo way, but in the magic of the show, is that at any moment, depending upon your interaction with the Terrigen crystals, an Inhuman can pop up. And so it gives story. And one of the things that Jeff Bell talks about all the time is there's no point in introducing a character that doesn't generate story. And so that's one of the things that we always look at, which is, okay, if we're going to do this, how does this affect not just the first episode or the third episode or the 8th episode, but all 22 episodes for the season? And with any kind of luck, because we've been very lucky with Sarah Finn, who also does the casting for all the movies, our casting has been pretty extraordinary on the show. So quite pleased with
Can I
that.
ask just one quick thing?
One last question.
Just curious, would Doctor Strange, will we see any kind of tie into that movie? Or
Let me just say that strange things are coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.